Hello friends. First of all, thank you very much for showing such a massive support over my last video that is on Battle of Midway, the turning point of World War II. And from seeing such a grateful and massive support, I decided to make a video on some of the topic of what was the consequences and scenario after that Battle of Midway. So from there till there we have talked about Pearl Harbor and Battle of Midway, but on this video we will start from the early 1945. What was the scenario and what leads to uh, US to attack atomic bomb over Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So by early 1945 the war in the Pacific were reacting a new levels of savagery, and the Japanese surprise attack in 1941 on Pearl Harbor dragged US in all over this conflict of World War II. And at that time they were believing American navies got crippled, and Japanese embarked their whole of the concentration and focus over Southeast Asia and Central Pacific. So, but from the Battle of Midway, whole scenario got changed, and the great comeback of US forces leads the US were hitting with a bloody war of attrition. And in this video we are going to talk about such of attrition, so same attrition. So let's start. Thank you. Operation Dawnfall was the name given to the planned invasion of Japan. Operation Dawnfall itself was divided into two parts: Operation Olympic and Operation Coronaut. By mid-1945, it was apparent that the collapse of Japan was near, and the Allies had to plan for the invasion of Japanese mainland, something that they knew would be very costly in terms of life lost. American military commanders were given the task of planning for the invasion. They were Douglas MacArthur, Chester Nimitz, Ernest King, William Leahy, Hap Arnold, and George Marshall. Initially, inter-service rivalry occurred between both Army and Navy, as they wanted one of their men to be supreme commander of planning. Eventually, Navy had accepted that MacArthur have a total control over the invasion plan. The planning proceeded without taking the atomic bomb into consideration, as so few members only knew about its existence. The Americans were doubting over one of very serious problem. They knew for sure that Japanese would defend their territory with zeal, and the American casualties would be very high, probably too high for the American public that would not accept it. The fanatism that had shown by the kamikazes would be almost certainly be encountered in Japan, and the Americans had to plan for this. There was plenty of evidence to indicate that any invasion of the Japanese mainland would be very bloody for all the concerned. The complexity of such an attack also led to both sides of the US military developing different ideas as to what the best plan should be. The Navy believed that blockade supported by air campaign would be sufficient. They wanted to use air bases in China and Korea to launch bombing raids against key cities of Japan. The army believed that such a campaign would take too long and that morale of American public might suffer as a result. They supported the use of invasion that would go the heart of Japan. It quickly became apparent that invasion of Japan would present huge difficulties. There were very few beaches that could be used as a landing place, and Japanese knew this. Both sides, US and Japan, know that the only beaches in Kyushu and the beaches in Kanto near Tokyo could be support huge amphibious landing. The Japanese took appropriate measures in both areas. At that time, the Americans had to plan to land in Kyushu first and use it as a base to attack other targets in Japan. These planes would then be used to give support landing in Kanto. As there were so few places to land a massive force of amphibious troops, the Japanese guessed early as 1944 where such landing would take place. The actual invasion of Kyushu was known to be fought with dangers. Therefore, there were some of American military officers who advocated that use of chemical weapons over Japanese defenders would be the best idea. The use of poisonous gas has been outlawed by Geneva Convention, but neither America nor Japan had signed this. But in the poisonous gas attack, the main concern of Americans was the potential of huge casualty rates. Near every senior officer involved in the planning did has his own research regarding American casualties. This was based on experience America had fighting Japanese since Pearl Harbor. In the self-introspection of pros and cons, the Joint Chief Staff had estimated that Operation Olympic alone would cost 4 lakh men and 10,000 killings. Along with that, Operation Coronat estimated that America would experience 1.2 million casualties and 2.5 lakh deaths. Staff working for Chester Nimitz calculated that in the first 30 days, Operation Olympic alone would cost 49,000 men. MacArthur's staff concluded that America would suffer 1.5 lakh casualties with 120 days, and a figure that was later reduced to 1 lakh casualties after his staff subtracted the men who been wounded could return to battle. After a chain of introspection, while reconsidering each and every consequences while landing in Kyushu or Kanto would be worse than possible. In a conclusion, General Marshall, in conference with President Truman, estimated there would be around 31,000 men lost within 30 days after landing in Kyushu. On the other hand, Admiral Leahy estimated that invasion would be around 2.68 lakh casualties. Personnel at Navy Department estimated that total losses to America would be between 1.7 to 4 million, with 4 lakh to 8 lakh deaths. The same department estimated that there would be up to 10 million Japanese casualties. The Los Angeles Times estimated that America would suffer up to 1 million casualties. Now, in the chain of these pros and cons introspection, America doesn't want to lose any of its men anymore. And apart from that, it wanted Imperial Japan to be surrendered. Regardless of which figures were used, it was an accepted fact that America would lose a very large number of its men. This was one of the reasons why President Truman authorized the use of atomic bomb in effort to get Japan to surrender. On August 6, 1945, an atomic bomb with name Little Boy was dropped on Hiroshima. On August 9, 1945, an atomic bomb with name Fat Man was dropped on Nagasaki. On September 2, 1945, Japan surrendered in front of America. America and its allied partner were spared the task of invading Japan because of projected massive casualties. Atomic bomb attack on August 6 on Hiroshima had wiped out the complete city, instantly killing an estimated 70,000 people and leaving 10,000 more suffering with horrific injuries. 3 days later, 9 August 1945, the second nuclear bomb devastated the complete city of Nagasaki, immediately killing 39,000 people. After 72 years of this horrible incident, 122 states in July 2017 adopted the Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons (TPNW). The treaty prohibits the development, testing, production, stockpiling, stationing and transfer and use and threat of these nuclear weapons. Guys, if you like this video, please do subscribe the channel and do like and share the video. Thank you very much.